Montgomery Matters is a locally produced TV show that features people, events, and subjects of interest to residents of Montgomery County, Maryland. I'm your host, Greg Wims.
Welcome to Montgomery Matters. My name is Shane Robinson and I'll be your host. Today we will be talking to Gregory Wims, who is celebrating his 45th anniversary of volunteering in the community. Greg, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Shane, and I'm so happy to be on your show.
Every day I work in nonprofit management. I work with a lot of volunteers, and I've never met anybody as driven or as prolific as you. Take us back 45 years ago. How did it all begin?
It started 45 years ago, actually, at Goshen United Methodist Church. I was 16 years old, and we were helping senior citizens at what they called then the Asbury Methodist Home. 45 years ago, it was a small Methodist-run senior citizen place. Today, it's known as Asbury Home, and of course, it has several hundred, I believe, residents. But what I did simply was to take Thanksgiving baskets to those seniors. Most of them were low-income seniors, and that's how it all started.
Oh, okay. That's great. So I've been there. I'm a state delegate that's in my district. I've attended service there. How much does faith drive you in your volunteerism?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question because I thought about it over the last couple of weeks. When you look at 45 years of sacrifice is what it is. You're away from your family. You miss things like going to the movies. Mm-hmm. You may spend money out of your pocket. And I believe back at age 16, there was a time where in my soul, God has spoke to me and he said, Greg Wims, I'd like for you to be a community servant. I'd like for you to start with these senior citizens, but I'm going to help you and you continue. So faith plays a major role in it, and this is why I've been able to, I guess, to keep going, because you also have to have health. Because if you think about it, if I was in an accident or if I broke a leg or anything, I couldn't do the volunteer work. So, because I've been volunteering now constantly, there's never been a break in the 45 years.
Right, and you volunteered across the county, across the country, and across the world. But a lot of it came about during your time with the Victims' Rights Foundation, which is still continuing. How did that begin?
Well, that was just about 16 years ago now. And I was watching TV and just the news, like most people do when they come home from work. Yeah. And I saw three young ladies. They had been murdered, and their bodies were thrown on the side of the road. And it was at the Department of Agriculture's reserve in Beltsville, Maryland. And I believe at that point, and again, it's something that said God in the faith spoke to me, just something in my soul said, maybe I should try to help those families. And of course, at that time, I didn't know anyone in the police department. Did not know the family members, of course, but I went to the police station and said, I'm a citizen in Montgomery County. I've been volunteering with various activities over the years. Can you give me the information? So they gave me the family's numbers. We went there to help them. And from there has started what you've just said, helping victims not only here in Montgomery County, but helping victims all over the world.
Right. In a variety of countries and locations, especially in the United States and especially during Hurricane Katrina. How was that? What happened there, and what role did the Victims' Rights Foundation play in that?
That was another very, I guess, spiritual moment. We all watched. It was September 2nd and 3rd that it came to me that I need to go to New Orleans and try to help. No one called me. Usually people ask me to come. That was one that I said, I need to go to help and do what we can to help those poor people, as I call it, coming out of New Orleans and on the top of the roofs and so forth. To make it to Houston is where most of them were coming. So I actually, on September 3rd, it was about 4 days after the hurricane hit, caught a plane down to Houston, and there we worked with the other volunteers at the convention center. It was called the Brown Convention Center. And when they came off of the bus, very dirty, very wet, sweaty, we took them immediately to showers. We gave them something to eat. Then we took them to a clothing station to give clothes. But when I was there, I was so moved, I actually called back home to several friends and to my local church, Goshen United Methodist Church in Gaithersburg, and we were able to get people to wire to me about $12,000 so that we could do more in trying to help some of those victims find housing.